Hello friends, many of you have asked me how I created this look. This video shows you how. All I've got on my face is my skincare and the La Roche-Posay and Thelios 50 plus of the tinted fluid. This is the sunscreen that I use and I've been using it now for a good year or so. I like it. It doesn't interact with my makeup. It doesn't make it smudge or anything like that. So I've waited probably about 20 minutes to let it absorb and settle, and now I go in with the rest. I'm going to start off with some lid lock. This is from Barry M, and I'm just going to tell you all the products that I'm using, just so that if you want to know what I'm using and you want to go see if it works for you the way it works for me, then it's there in the description box. Basically everything I'm wearing, everything I'm using will be there. If I have any links, I will attach them. If I have any coupon codes, I will also attach them. So let me start by taking a sip. This is collagen water that I've been drinking from thecollagenco, and I'm liking it. So let that settle in on my eyelids, and I start off with the Sissy Nude Glow. Just a little bit, just one pump I find is enough. And I have my trusty Kmart mirror here that someone kindly told me to glue on, and now it's great. When I lift it like this, it doesn't fall down. So I've got that there so I can see what I'm doing. And sometimes I'll just use my fingers and sometimes I use a brush. I stipple this on and it's as simple as that. I try not to put too much around my eyes because the less product around that area, the better. Because as you know, as you have wrinkles, product especially tends to settle in there. That's it. So that's the base. I apply a little bit of the Givenchy Skin Caring Corrector. I have deep set eyes and it's very shadowy. So I apply just a little bit of that in the corners of my eye, which is the darkest section. And then I just tap it in a little bit in the area that's darkest, just to correct that purple that's there. And then what I use basically to brighten my eyes or the under eye area is the iCosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. This is the full coverage anti-aging waterproof concealer in light ultra fair. And a little bit of this goes a real long way. So that's all I've got, and that's probably too much too. Again, just in the corners, which is where I have the darkness, and the bridge of my nose, which obviously is also dark there. And then I just run it down anywhere I want a little bit of brightness. That's it. That's what I need. And then I go in with the Enco Beauty contour stick, and this is the dual-ended in medium black. Dual-ended, there's that at the top. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. But because I've got a high forehead, I basically try and create a little bit of shadow up there, there, and the brow line, just to create a little bit of sharpness there. Oh yes, and my nose. You know, when I do my makeup, I can do it without thinking normally. But the minute I turn on the camera, I suddenly go, oh, how do I do my makeup? What do I normally put there? I can't remember. I go blank. So bear with me. And then I stipple this in just in that top section of my forehead and blend it in to get a little bit of colour. My nose, just to make it a little bit thinner. Cheekbones. Now, I don't go further in than halfway, only because I always try and create lift whenever I do my makeup. And if I go any further in, then I find that it creates a little bit of drag, and no one wants their face to look any more dragged than it needs to. Okay, and then I apply a little bit of pink on my cheekbones just as a blush. And I use cream products because then I top it up with some powder, and I find that then it gives me a bit of a glow from underneath. And also one thing I did notice, this has a little bit of glow to it. So it just creates a little bit of luminosity in your skin, or in my skin, on my face anyway. And then this product is Prime Chromatics 01 Pigment. You can use it on your lips, you can use it on your cheeks. Just to add, see, just a little bit of colour, but that's not bam in your face. And this blends in beautifully. And for that, I just use my fingers. The good thing that I like about cream products is that you can do that. You can use your fingers if you want to. I'm washed, so my fingers are clean. Okay, and then I've done the under eyes, I've done the cheekbones. I need to do a check because last time I did a Get Ready With Me, I put I put the bronzer on my jawline and I forgot to blend it in. So that's what happens when you're in front of the camera. You just go, ah! All right. Next, I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent loose setting powder, and I apply just a little bit of that. Tap it off. I don't like too much. Just in that area that I don't want luminosity, because if I've got under eye darkness, I don't want it to shine. So I apply a little bit of that there around my nose, chin, and the middle of my forehead, and on my eyelid, just for a base. My nose, no one wants a shiny nose, or at least I don't. And then I've got the Emco Beauty Silky Smooth Bronzer. I go over where I've put the bronzer, the cream bronzer, just to enhance the colour, and set it. Okay, and then L'Oreal Life's a Peach Blush. This is a beautiful peachy colour that I think goes well with lots of skin tones. And I just add a little bit just to tamp down the glowy one that I put underneath. But this is also a little bit glowy. You see my skin's not actually flat even though I'm using powder. Well, at least let's hope it's showing a little bit of shine. And then I use the Iconic Duo. And this has got like a shiny bronzer and a white highlighter. And I use the white highlighter just to tamp up here on my cheekbones, just so that when the light hits it, it reflects. But I try and stay as far away as I possibly can from my wrinkles, because I don't need those to be highlighted. Ridge of my nose and the tip of my nose. I know, I don't know if it's still a dumb thing, but I do it. Makes me feel trendy. If my daughters were here, that laugh like, Mom. Oh, actually no, that roll their eyes, not laugh. Anyway, so that will do there. And now I'll move to my eyelids. I've been using a super expensive eyelid palette for the last 6 months, and I love it. It traveled overseas with me, and I just love it so much so that I've hit pan on one of the eyeshadows. Revolution Beauty. Not expensive. You can find it from Chemist Warehouse, Iceline. I think this came to me in a giveaway or something like that, a gift bag. So what I do with this, you can see that this has really hit pan in that middle color. Number 2, I can't tell you what it is. This was the Mini Color Reloaded palette in Nude About You. I'm a nude person. I like a nude makeup. Gone are the days where I used to use blue eyeshadow, green. Sometimes I use green eyeshadow, but not often. At best, sometimes in the summertime, I might use oranges and copper to make my grey nails pop more, but otherwise I'm more of a nude color eyeshadow person. So anyway, so I use the middle one, or the middle shade, which is just a neutral color that's the same color as my skin, all over my lid. And that's just to create a base for my eyeshadow. I don't go too far up, just probably there. I need to buy another one, or just go to my stash and find something else, but it's really only that one that I use the most of. So it's a pity to just throw out a whole palette just because I've hit pan on one color. I've seen some YouTubers, and what they do is they flip it, or they take it out and they refill it with another one. I suppose I could do that. I just thought about it really. Okay, so that's the base all over my eye. And then I go with the darker color, and with the darker color, I tamp it down because I don't want too much. But if you notice my eyes, when I look directly at the camera, I don't have hooded eyelids so much as deep set eyes. So when I close my eye, you can see the whole eyelid, but when I open it, you can see that there's a line there that if I was to apply eyeshadow in that line, it would actually make my eyes look smaller. So what I do is I apply the darker eyeshadow just above that line, just there. And that creates like a false crease. See, the crease is there, but that eyeshadow is actually higher. And that creates like a lifted look and a false crease, which helps my eye look bigger, more lifted. So that's the trick. Don't go in the line that automatically forms there, because that'll just make your eye look even smaller. Go just above it. And it does look a little bit harsh now. It's not going to remain like that. I always blend, blend, blend. Okay, and then I create a V, and I join that tip that I've just created, that line, to the furthest point of my eyelid. And I create a V. It works best if you just tap it in. And I do the same on the other side. And then I just sort of like brush it inward. So it creates a bit of a triangle. Do you see that? That's got a triangle. That's what I'm creating. And then I just feather it in with the brush and create a bit of a smoky, extended eye look. I don't go all the way in. I don't go window wiper. I don't do that. I just go all the way, just sort of feather it in towards the center of my eye and not much further in the center of my eye, because otherwise that sort of creates the illusion that your eyes are closer together. I want to create separation and lift. And one always ends up being a little bit smokier than the other. I don't know. I then blend it out with another brush. And I tend to go inward rather than outward. I don't know why. It just works for me. Probably because if I go outward, I create a lot more fallout down here, and I don't want to do that. I then use a tiny little brush with a lighter color, which is that color there. I might mix a little bit with the brown, but it's mostly the lighter color. Tap it off, and then I run it underneath my eye, just that far corner, not all the way to the center, just to create a little bit of shadow there. And you'll see that I join it with the top bit, flicking up all the time. Sometimes what I do, if I don't want to wear eyeliner, is I just use a pencil brush like this, or a liner brush, and I feather in the eyeshadow inside my eyelashes, and that creates the illusion of fuller eyelashes. Now this doesn't normally take me this long, but I am filming it, so it seems to be taking a lot longer than normal. I'm trying to make sure that it comes out right. Okay, so that's done. You can see that I've got a little bit of eyeshadow furthest outward point of my eyelid, but then it goes thinner as it goes towards the center of my eyelid. And then what I do is I like a little bit of glitter. So I go with this pink one, which is not bam glitter, but just got a satiny finish. And I use a lot of it. Doesn't look like I've used a lot. I just put it in the center of my eyelid, not too high up, just in the center, just so that when I close my eye, it sort of creates a bit of lightness and not too close to the center. I just find that that works for me. Okay. And then I blend it, and this time I do go further in with it, but where the crease is. So instead of going above it, I'm now in the crease where my eye naturally closes, because I'm trying to blend out the two colors, the satin sparkly one and the dark brown. That's it. That's the look. And then what's needed is a little bit of brightener in the center of my eye, in satin, a number 20 by L'Oreal. And I just put that a little bit only in the center of my eye there, just to create a little bit of brightness. And a little bit up here, not too much. Next, I apply actual eyeliner, and I'm using Prime Prometics, not sponsored. And I apply eyeliner in black, coal. It's just my go-to. Very rarely do I apply something lighter. There is another color from Prime Prometics that I really like. It's like a mulberry color, and I probably apply that more in the summertime. But in the winter, I go more for a coal, a really dark black, and I apply it thickest to thinnest from the outer corner of my eye. Sorry, I'm looking there because that's where the little monitor is, rather the camera there. I apply from the outer corner of my eye, but not where the eye closes, a little bit further up. And then I carry it across to just past or just where my iris. So when you look ahead at my eyes, you'll see that it's just on the pupil. It'll finish there. That's the intention. Sometimes it carries over. It just depends on how heavy-handed I've been or how shaky my hands might have been that day. But otherwise, I just start on the outer corner higher and then carry it across. And I just feather it in. I don't try and do one whole line. That doesn't work for me. And I find that normally my left eye always the better one. See? I don't apply a lot. Gone are the days where I used to apply eyeliner all the way from one end of the eye all the way across to the center and then inside the eye. My eye cannot handle that look anymore. At best, what my eye can handle is maybe a little bit thicker than this. On night outs or parties and things like that, I might go a little bit heavier and go just a little bit further towards the start of my pupil. But otherwise, I just go from the furthest corner to just about the center. And I find that that just gives me the thickness and the emphasis to create a more lifted and open eye. Now let's hope I can do the right eye properly too. And with my eyes, especially eye pencils, I really want something that's really buttery soft and I don't have to like drag it, and this does that. It's a really soft eyeliner. Actually, for those that came to my meet and greet, how have you found the eyeliner and the mascara. Weigh in the comments below. Okay, that's worked out pretty well for both of them. I haven't gone too far at all. Can you see how it just starts just on the outer part, and then it just pretty much finishes just before the start of my pupil. That's it. That's pretty much it for my eyes. Now working on my eyebrows, I'm using the Emco Beauty Brow Laminate Sculpt and Set. It's almost finished. I need another one. But I go with this because I smudge it, you can't tell. Whereas once I have colour, I can't be rough like this. I have to be more precise. And I don't like a eyebrow product that covers completely my greys in my eyebrows, because then if it's too dark, it kind of fights against the colour of my hair, the black and white, or, you know, what do they call it, salt and pepper. So I use Prime Cosmetics again. Their products are really good. They're targeted towards mature women. Anyway, not sponsored, but so, you know, I'm using the ash brown. I don't want something too dark. At first, I used to use Silver Queen, but Silver Queen is a little bit darker. I'm not sure whether it's going to show through. And I find that the ash brown works a little bit better. What this does, it just fills in a little bit. And I like working with a brush like this. I'm not one to color in and sculpt like that. I can't do it. I just find that it gives me a really harsh look. I don't know how to use it. Maybe that's better. I don't know how to use it. I know how to use these because these are foolproof. I can just sort of feather it in and comb through the product through my greys. And this one's almost finished, so there's not a lot of product left. Just made my eyebrow that little bit more defined and fuller looking and darker, I think anyway. I'm hoping it's coming through correctly on the camera. But yes, that one's the done one and that one is the not done one. So I'll go to that one next. Sorry, I have a runny nose. Weird weather in Melbourne. It started off as sunny and now it's gone cloudy and it looks like it's going to rain. Hence why I've got the ring light as well. So yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't distort the colours too much. I won't know until I start editing it. That is it. Have I done everything? Yes. Now the lips. The lips, I'm using a nude lip liner. What else? It's called Velvet Lip Pencil in 03 Coffee Brown and it's from Clio. It's a new store that opened up in Doncaster. Anyway, I like it. And I tend to overline my lips because, let's face it, they've lost their volume. And I am a child of the 90s, which was a very strong nude lip, wasn't it? 90s as in, I was a teenager, young adult in the 90s, not that I was born in the 90s, God. Okay, that's done. A little bit of setting powder, because that way my lipstick lasts longer, I feel. And now, before I put my mascara, I'll use some setting spray. This is the Emco Beauty Ultra Lock setting spray. I got this glass from the Reject Shop. It says London, and I love it. And I'm drinking a new product. It's a collagen powder from thecollagenco. I really like this flavour. It's peach iced tea and it's very similar in taste to the Lipton iced tea. Don't tell anyone. Feeding my body from the inside so that it can reward me on the outside with energy and youthful looking skin. Finally, I am using the Prime Lash Mascara in black. I love black. It's just what I like for my eyes. It makes them pop more. Now, I don't want this video to come out as if I'm selling products, but many of my viewers ask me, what have you used? What have you used? So I figure if I say it in the video, when I go to edit it, I won't forget what it was, because sometimes I do, I forget, because I might use something else that day. Good thing about this mascara is that it's buildable, and I will show you the difference it makes to my eyelashes. I don't like a mascara that's too goopy because then it looks clumpy. This one, because it's buildable, I can just keep going to my heart's content, building it up until I think I've had enough. And I just touch to my bottom lashes. Extend, 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 extend. Okay, that's one eye versus the other. I like the look. I don't want a mascara to seem like I'm not wearing any mascara. If I'm going to the effort of putting on mascara, I want it to look like I'm wearing mascara. That's that. And now, lately I've been liking this combo of lipstick. It's the MAC 804 Cherish, almost finished. Pretty much a true nude. I like a nude lip. And then, just to add a little bit of interest, I apply the Rimmel, I think it's Rimmel, Color Riche. Color Riche by L'Oreal 303 Rose Tundra. And it's a beautiful icy pink. And I apply it all over my lip. All right, that is the finished look. What do you think? It's basically my go-to look. It's very neutral but smoky, and it just adds a little bit of vibrancy to my face and makes me look more alive. which is really how I want to look most days. If I'm stepping outside or even if it's just being at home, I tend to wear makeup every day. And yeah, I like playing with makeup. So I like having my little collection here at the ready. I do have to do a tidy up one of these days, so I will get to it, but pretty much this is what I use, and this is what came overseas with me when I traveled. So this is the look that I've been wearing for the last probably 6 months, since summer. The only thing that will change in the summertime will be some of the products. I might grab a different eyeshadow palette, but pretty much this is the base that I go to, or even a darker lip sometime I might do. But as I said, pretty much this is it. Thanks for watching, and thanks to the viewers that actually asked numerous times for me to do a get ready with me to create this look. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know, are you a one product or a two product or a multiple product person like me when it comes to makeup? Until next time, bye!